How do you match the personalities of your team members? Are you using an assessment, or is it just instinctive, or is it something that you just spot it and you know who fits together? How does that work for you?
So there's a number of things that, and I guess I'm fairly intuitive on this, but when I pull myself out and look at what is the process that I go through, I lean on Michael Gerber's E-Myth Revisited model. If you're familiar with that model, he identifies the technician, the manager, and the visionary in the business. So when I'm pulling together a team or going onto a team, the very first thing that I do when I'm going onto an existing team is I make sure that I connect with every single person on that team. They need to know that I'm going to listen to them and that that we're all in this together, and I'm not just going to be some bossy person bossing them around and telling them what to do, because that's not going to get us anywhere. So what I do in that initial kind of consultation with each team member is, and I do this when I'm pulling together my own teams as well, I make sure that we've got a balance of the technicians, the managers, and the visionaries. Now, I come into any team as a visionary, but I'm never the only visionary on the team, because there's usually already an existing visionary. A lot of creative people tend to be more visionary, but they also, a lot of the creative people tend to be more of the technicians. So what I find is that we need a balance. We need, and you can't have, well, you maybe can have too many technicians, but you need people that are actually doing the work for the implementation of it. But the most important piece, and this is a piece that is missing most often, is the manager. The manager personality is the person who can manage all of the pieces and the people and make sure that everything keeps going smoothly. Otherwise, you get the visionary people who are creative and they keep creating more and more stuff, and you get the technicians who are just trying to keep up and do everything. And if you don't have a strong manager personality, you can end up not ever getting to the point where you're getting results or you've got a finished project. So making sure that on any team you've got a combination of the manager, the technician, the visionary. In my world, we never have to look for, because the business owner usually comes in as the visionary. But you do want to make sure that on those working teams you've got all of those places and that it's complete. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I've noticed the same sort of pattern. That person in the middle there, the manager as you call it, sometimes I call them a strategist or something, but they know how to communicate that big vision to the people who need to get it done as well. Don't you find that it's a communication bridge type person as well? So.
There, definitely. That manager needs to be able to communicate well, and I find that there's two types of managers. There's the manager that does really good with managing all of the pieces and the tactical stuff. So the step-by-step, let's have a timeline. This week we need to get a website up, a web page, whatever it is. And then there's the manager of the people as well. And those don't always come packaged in one person. It takes a special personality to be able to effectively manage people, because now you're dealing with expectations and what's happening in everybody's life and handling excuses, keeping people on track. So depending on the manager style, I find that it does make a difference putting the right technical people in place to do the implementation. And there's also another level of managing, and that's managing the strategy. I think what you're talking about, the strategist, making sure that the vision is being held and consistent with what we're creating and delivering on.